Hello everyone, my name is Udyot. I am currently working in Intellect Design Arena and I am associated with Google developer groups around the world. And also, I am currently I'm working with Google developer groups Chennai. So today's topic for our meeting is Intro to Web Technologies. As I am working here as systems engineer, so I am currently working as a front end engineer for in my team. Also, my work is to make the layouts and screens all and for some of the cases writing test cases and connecting with database. Also, if you are having any questions, you can put it in chat and I will reply for your at the end of your questions. So let's start. So as you can see, like I'm working in system as a systems engineer working in front-end technology, and currently I'm based in Chennai. So today's table of content will be internet and what we are currently, how internet is started and what we have learned from it, then web tech, and in 2020 what are the stacks and what is current market. Then we will check on how to progress and how to learn in technologies. So let's start with first topic in which the main purpose of today is like we will more focus technically on the web tech and we will go very fast in internet NV. As we all know that you have also studied this in your college. So as the quotation says, website without visitor is like a ship in the horizon. What it means like if you are not having a good website or you are not having good SEOs, so that it will be a loss in the ocean of this internet. So the first topic, internet and we will cover www, web communication protocols, HTTP, and client server architectures that is going currently. So let's see how we are seeing internet now and how it was in 1990s. So let's have a look. So there was a lot of things that were not in 1990s like responsiveness and mobile were not there. So now as we have moved to mobile, but what was there in 1990s? Let's see. What was the buzz over there? So as the internet was new that time and they were struggling for client server and how to pass the variables or pass the data from client to server. So how they moved it, you can see in this PDF, in this website. As the bandwidth was also not good, so that time we can't have more scripts that will be loading in the client side. You can see that address. So let's move on to our slides. These are the three things we all know. www. It is like World Wide Web. But also, if we are seeing through internet, like internet is the same as www, but it's not. www is a web that is connected throughout the world, a network of computer. And we can see like internet is an infrastructure in which whole of the internet is based and web is a service that is provided. Now coming to protocols. Like telnet protocol, telnet was earlier which we are using for a common network in which a sender will send to, like a client will send to server, and FTP is file transfer program. It was, then it was changed to a protocol. Like protocol is program is a small part of a protocol. Then we can move towards TCP IP. TCP is providing a channel through which we are sending our data packets, and IP is something that is addressing that it is raised to its location clearly. IPsec is a IP security that was used at that time. In this IPsec, it was like it is encrypted and then it is sent through internet. HTTP and HTTPS, that is currently which we are using. HTTP is simply a protocol that we are sending request and receiving it, but it is not secured because it has not any encrypted techniques. So for that we are using HTTPS, S is for security, in which we are using encryption, and due to which the site will be more secured and secure. Now moving to client server architecture. Server architecture, which we are using currently in IT industry or in computer sciences. So as you will also know that the client server architecture client is like our desktop, mobile, tab, and lots of devices from which we are sending a request to our server. Server can be any type of web server, file server, mail server. In server, when a client is requesting any of the request in any format, like a JSON which we are using currently, so for each request there will be a response which will be getting from a server. So the server can't hold like a bunch of requests at any time. Any request is coming, so it has to acknowledge it and it has to send it back. So this is a very simple architecture of a client server architecture, in which we are having desktops and which is connected to our router services. Then after router, it is going to authentication server. Authentic server is like which will pass if your credentials are fine. So it will pass you to its database. It will check that your credentials are fine. You are an actual user of that site. Then it will move to, or it will move to a file server, or it will give you access of file server, which will you can access like a Gmail if you are using. So first your authentication will be done, and then you will move to a file server. So as I think you will know this, who is this guy? Anybody? Yeah, One Punch Man is fine. So yeah, it is. This guy is got his power by practicing always. So if you want to work in any technology or anything, so you have to work and practice harder. Then we go to, if you are means eagerly want to learn anything, so you can stay, or better don't do this. So if you are good enough, we will provide you some goodies after this session. Let's move forward. Now, what is web tech and HTML, CSS, jQuery, and what are the other frameworks which are we are using in web technologies? So currently, for making a website, or like you have seen, the web servers are there, web client is there. So client, we are having many websites, and in server we are hosting. So to accessing that website, we have to make web pages. So in HTML and CSS, we are designing our web pages. And let's see a small hands-on. So in HTML, let's check this website. So in HTML, currently we are having basic HTML elements. If you are seeing, we are having tags. I guess you all know that how HTML page is formatted. In first, which we are having, we will be having three things, which we are having. One thing, head, body, and a script part, which we are keeping in our head part. So head is a place where we are describing what are the tag names, what are our meta tags which we are using for our SEOs, and what will be the title of our page. That all the things which we will be keeping in our header tag, and what are the headings which we are having. Then if we are moving to our body part is where which we are forming our page, like body, HTML, and all. Guys, we are recording this video, so would you please don't mind if you are not doing this. Then we are having HTML attributes. HTML attributes are the things which we are using, like href, which will be using as a hyperlink, and the source for images which we will be using a source. These images will be kept in our image folder, or any folder which will be packing, and we will be hosting in our server. This can be mostly we will keep it as relative path, and alt is like if our image or source is not loaded from our image is not loaded from our source, then we will give a alternate name or a tag with us. We are having paragraph styles which we are using. We are using styles through CSS. Either then we are having three or four types of style: inline style, element style. We will give it. First, we will prefer mostly to keep all the styles in our separate CSS file because we can use it many times in other files also. So making it redundant, better to use it in simple way, keeping it as CSS and linking it to our all the HTML pages. So these are our style: inline, internal, and external styles. Inline styles you are giving with our element which we are keeping, and internal styles are the styles which we are keeping in our header part, which will be applied to whole other. Like here in example h1 we are giving blue style and paragraph we are giving red. Hyperlinks are nothing which but simply from one page to another or from one location to another we are using hyperlink, in which we are using an anchor tag. Within anchor we are using an href attribute that will be having a url for another page. Then similarly like this we are having a tab, list and other elements of HTML. Then being going to responsive. What is responsive? Currently, like we are using so many websites and all websites, and we want all this in different gadgets. So what we need, a site should be more responsive so that we can see those websites in different devices. So for that responsiveness, we are having different frameworks like Bootstrap, Material, Polymer. So I will show you. This is a Bootstrap tutorials in which we can see how it works. In Bootstrap, we are having container fields and grids, which we can change accordingly the device is set. So here it is saying like container. For SM is for small devices. If we are using small, and we have to give all the devices which we in further this site is going to be using. So for small devices we are using SM. For large devices we are using LG, and XL for extra large devices. If we are giving all this together, so the page will be rendering after getting the size of the screen, and then accordingly it will take the custom tags which we are given by Bootstrap. This is a grid system that we are using in Bootstrap, and we are having additional features like a button, jumbotrons, which we are having, which will give our nice look and feel. And we are having badges which were not in HTML. We can make it, but they are providing itself because it is a framework. So it is better to use for responsiveness a Bootstrap or any other thing that are responsive. JavaScript is used for, you can say, validating the client side form fields. Also, JavaScript is used for styling and give more smooth and interactive design to a website. You can start with AngularJS. AngularJS is the first version of Angular. Then we have moved to Angular 2, and now in the market they have rolled out Angular 9. So if you want to learn Angular, then I would recommend Angular is a good framework that you should work on. Apart from React also you can start working on. And if you are learning React, then you will feel much easier to work on Angular. But I would say both are different. So don't say this to me after that I have said that it will be easy. So both are having their own disadvantages and own advantages. How now most of you will have a doubt that how to be a programmer, how we should start our journey as a programmer, or how to start coding. What I would suggest is, if you are very new to a programming language, any language, or you are starting your programming journey, so I would recommend you should start with those languages which are easy to learn. And like if I can say, first understand how a language works. You should have to learn only the topics, how language is working. You should think logically how anything works in language. You should read the language and you should understand what is the logic behind anything which is provided by language. If you understand that, then it will be very easy to you to work on. Then after learning any language, then you should start making small programs. Like if you are starting with HTML, you just to make a simple page and you start putting buttons, fields, tables. Then after that you make a form from HTML. Making a form from HTML, you will get to know that how form is working. Then you start attaching database to it, submit that form, get the result from database, like that. Then after that, make web applications, making a form, then putting data in it, retrieving from it, then making another classes and interacting with those classes. After that, if you are full fledged with this, then you can move to community challenges. Like you should ask other people to work on that project, or you should work on other project and building more developer environment. Overall, how overall development of a programmer or a developer happens. For me also, like I started development and coding in my college days. After that I have moved to for learning. I have gone to so many chief chosen online classes. Currently online classes, if you will feel that you have to pay for it and like anything, so before paying from for it, learn from tutorial points and Java T point and other online sources which you are giving, getting a theory of it. After getting theory of it, you can start learning through other websites for YouTube, as YouTube's for small parts. Then if you are good at it, then you should take up online challenges. It is easy to learn from online challenges. If you are enrolling any program, so you should complete and have continuity with that program. Learning any language is not any language. If you are learning, it is not a big thing, not a rocket science. If you are having a basic understanding of language, how a language works, then it is easy to switch between languages. So you should start learning through your own work, own development, your own online classes. Because at the end of online classes, for your motivation, they are providing you a certificate. So you can brag about that also. But you should have a deep understanding of that online knowledge, what you understand through it. I will give you answer at the last of this. And after online classes, if you are good at it, then form a community and work with the community. Let's see about stacks. Currently, earlier, like when the mean node was not there, then we were using the lamp stacks. In lamp stacks, we are using these languages: Linux, Apache, SQL, and PHP for server side. Then currently we are using a mean stack or mon stack. If you are good enough, if you think you are good for front end, or you want to build a project that should work after some years also, and it is easy to learn, then you can start with mon or any mean. Our websites, like we are having, if you are using Golang, or if you are using, so for server sites, all the languages like Go, Rust, and Node, it is better to work on it. Let's move forward. See, this is a full stack web development. If you want to go with any of this, you want to start with front end technologies, then you can go with CSS, JavaScript, single page applications. Then for a front, these are the whole map which you can use for your development process. These are the hot topics that currently going in the market. Like we are having PWA, progressive web apps. So PWA you can use with either Angular, Polymer, or React, in which the currently which we are having, if we are running through a website and we get any ad or anything. So what PWA is standing like, a website will behave like a mobile application. Like if you are not having any Amazon application, so if you are getting scrolling a website and getting an Amazon ad, So that ad will provide a look and feel like a mobile app from which you can register or you can buy a product. So PWA is now booming in industry. If you want to have a career on PWA or want to make any site, you can start with PWA. Then we are having API development. API development is the best part which going currently in the market. So every big companies are moving toward it, because after that we are getting through microservices also. So for your better understanding, you can start with API development. Then we are having accelerated mobile pages, AMP. AMP is very fast technology which we can say currently, because earlier a site used to take normal site used to take a long time for loading. So AMP has drastically changed the load time of any site. So earlier, like for example, a site is taking 22 seconds, so now that can be loaded in 2 seconds itself. For development for AMP, you can try for AMP HTML framework, that will work for you. Then we are having AI powered chatbots, or yeah, AI powered chatbots. In this, we are having technologies like Facebook bot engine is there, Microsoft bot framework is there. We are having Google's Dialogflow. You can start working on chatbots also. Motion UI for better UI development. Then we are having push notifications. Push notifications is something like we are providing we are providing like most of the development is done for mobile nowadays. So any sites which are providing push notifications like push through and go push, which a subscriber and push model is there. So if you want to learn, you can learn through it. You can go through that two things which have a go push or push group. These two things can help you designing a push notifications. Responsive websites. Like you will see, like now we are having progressive web apps and accelerated mobile pages, but still responsive websites are having a huge demand in current market. So as I have told, is for responsiveness you can go for Polymer, or you can go for Polymer material design and Bootstrap. Now Bootstrap motion or something is there. 3D Bootstrap is also there. Search optimization. Voice search optimization is using natural learning for like we are having Alexa and Cortana, Google. So for more optimization and for more, we are using more command in place of our actions. So voice search optimization is also a good option to start working with. And if you want to have to be in a design part, so you should start as a UX research. You should search for UX research, how elements are made, how elements are kept in a website to get more look and feel. Now machine learning, DevOps and cloud. So this you would have heard like new technologies which are working on. So if you go through it, you can see that ML. Good. We are having Ritika for that ML. So after this session, she can talk about ML more. So I will continue with two others, DevOps and cloud. DevOps, you need a programming language, and DevOps is like a maintain. Earlier, nowadays we are having separate category for developers and for operation peoples. So in between which DevOps is coming. Earlier, it was like a developer used to develop program testing, tester used to test it, and after everything, we developers used to commit and put it in servers. So for making maintenance and monitoring, for scaling everything. So now a new develop DevOps, you can say a part or a team came up which will monitor and which are having a good knowledge of deployment, how to script and how to check, how to generate alert, everything. Those kind of work are taken care by DevOps. So you should have a good knowledge of security and networking and how to manage servers, monitoring, deploying, and the management of whole production environment or any other environments which we are using in industry. Then we are having cloud. Cloud also you should have a basic knowledge how cloud works, a common knowledge of scripting languages, like for either you can take for bash programming or shell programming. Then here also you can see a DevOps in cloud, because cloud is an infrastructure, and DevOps is the thing that will be used in cloud, can say that. And you should have a knowledge of how a system works and how we have to configure a system. So for that you can go for cloud, because inside cloud also we are having so many, like cloud runs database we are having. Then AWS cloud if you are taking, so we are having IMA privileges, or in the GCP also we are having Kubernetes clusters, nodes, pods. So if you are good and you like cloud, so you should learn about it and you should move forward. So let's see what is check some awesome tech. So I will provide you this slide. You can go through this website. This website will give you more fundamentals about everything. Like if you want to work in HTML, CSS, so JavaScript, how it is working, how a browser works. So you can go through this accessibilities, and what are the web components which we are using, what are the best practices also it will show you. The shadow dom which we are using in React or virtual dom, you can see in this also. What are the progressive web apps, PWA, you can read from here. If you are having any doubt, you can come back to us. What are the security and audits? Lighthouse, which we are using, Google's Lighthouse, so which we are using for a site, if how a better site is built and how what are the performance of that site, which we can get through this. Building tools which we are having, like NPN Yarn. So it is an awesome website. You can visit and you can get knowledge from this. And from where you have to start, you can check through this. Then moving back. So how should you start? Like ikigai is a Japanese phrase or a concept for which iki is like life and gai is the reason for which you are living. So if you are starting, either you are in BTech, CSC, IT, or BCA, MCA, anything. So you have already started your journey. So now you are here and you have to get to know where you have to go. We are having a lake of opportunities in every field. Like you have seen DevOps, cloud is there, MLAI is there. Now you want to become a developer, front end developer, back end developer. So lots of opportunities are there in market. So no need to worry. But you should know what the thing you like and what the thing you want to go in. The basic things which I will suggest you to do right now in your college is like getting a profile in GitHub, getting a hacker rank profile. For learning and sharing with others, you can go for a Medium or Dev2. If you want to start journey in your MLAI part, you should register in Kaggle. If you want to start your journey in UI and UX part, you should have a good portfolio with Behance and Rebel. Also, there are a lot of programs that are only specific to college students. Like by Google, there is Google Student Ambassador. It was earlier, that is changed to Developer Student Club. You can register every year. This will come, so you should register for that. Then by Microsoft, it is MSP. For Firefox, it is Firefox Student Ambassador. Now, as GitHub came to India, now they are having also student program is there by GitHub. You should register in that and make a small communities within your college, like JavaScript community, HTML community, machine learning community, cloud community, so that you can learn together and grow as a big community. For those, if communities are well made and all the collapse is done, we can provide you speakers from renowned industries like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, etc., that can come and give you a seminar on more specific to any particular technology. Like a person who want to, if you are having an Android group, so I can arrange a person from Google or any other company which will come and specific he will talk about Android, how what are the best practices, best practices on Android and anything like that. So like this, if you are making communities, so it will be better for you for understanding new things from your colleagues. And if you are having a good community and a good amount of people are in that community, suppose 20 to 30 people, so a speaker who is coming from outside will also love to be a part of that. So you can start with this. Like for mobile development, we are having Java, Kotlin, and Flutter. Now people will ask like whether we should start working with Kotlin or Java. As Google has said in 2016 or 15, like now their official language is Kotlin. So Kotlin is more easier. I will answer at last. So first two three slides are remaining, so we can go through. So you can say that Kotlin is an official language, and when you are coding in Kotlin, you will come to know that Kotlin is much easier and simpler than Java because they are having more packages that are easy to work with. And now, like a question came, why not React Native? You can go with React Native, but what I will suggest, if you are making in like that, then why not to try a Flutter? Flutter is a very having very big large community for Flutter, and it is a native development for iOS as well as Android and web also. Now Flutter web is also there. So if you start working in this, then I guess it is having much better future. And now the last part which I want to focus about is why, what, and how. Why to upgrade, what to upgrade, and how to upgrade. So why to upgrade? If you are having passion for technology, then you should upgrade. If you want to earn more knowledge, you should upgrade. For earning, getting a job, earning, getting a fame within community, creating any innovating new applications, or competing in competitions, and either your satisfaction. So these are the reasons why a person is upgrading himself. And what is upgrading is like, if you don't know any technology, so don't stress about it. You should increase your logical thinking and analytical thinking. How you are managing time and your technical skills, that matters. And what are the leadership quality you have to work on, and public speaking. These are the things which a college, if you want to build up a community, you need these skills. If you want to get a job in company, you need these skills. So these are the major skills which you should work on. And how you should work on is like, if you are starting a learning a language, so you should take a small portion and start reading it, then have a continuity in that. Further, you should, that I said, make a community and have a community involvement. All the resources that are provided in online, so you should go and visit it. Then you should follow online challenges that are going on. And now I will take some questions. Okay, Nina Chaudhary said that start from scratch from client server. Client server and basic internet is like the thing which you have read in your college. So nothing much about client server architecture. I will share this slide. You can look upon it. I worked on React to Bootstrap and found pretty easy to work with it. Its material UI is the same. See, UI technologies are like, we are having two things in Angular also. One is Angular base, which is having a MVC concept. Another is Angular material. Angular material is we are using material UI. So let's finish in 10 minutes. Yeah, it is easy to make API in Node, and if you are understanding an API, how API works, how we are sending request, and how we are forming request, and how we are receiving it. If you are understanding the basic, then either you make it Java, either you make it Node, then it doesn't matter. It is easy for everything. If you want a workshop in design, UI and UX designing, then I can provide you. I will talk to Rahul sir. So don't worry about designing. For server side languages, and if you want to work in cloud, so you can go with Golang. And now if you want to start any learning new language, so I would suggest you should look upon Rust. You can start with Rust also. If you're not having language, you can. I would suggest Flutter. Flutter is very good for Android mobile development, pure mobile development. Either in this iOS or Android, it is much better. Freelancers are offering. If you want to work as a freelancer, you should have a first have a good portfolio. Secondary thing, most of the freelancer are designers, UI UX designers. So mostly UX designers, they are providing you good layout and works. So you can start as a freelancing. If you want to start, then you can start as a UX designer. Or sometimes if big company is there and they want to segregate their work, so for backend part, front end part also they are. Yeah, sure, you can start with React Native. I'm not stopping anyone to learn from any language, but what I'm suggesting, Flutter is a good through. You can start, and it is having a big community involvement, so you can start with Flutter also. Okay, what I will provide, I will share you this slide. If for further meetings we can have a collab with all the attendees which have day before yesterday and today, so they can also have a go through if they want to learn any new technology. And so any other questions you want to ask? So Ritika, I would suggest you can say some words.
Should I explain about machine learning or something else?
Anything is fine,
It's a machine
because we have
learning.
provided machine learning links in our sheet,
Yeah,
so
sure.
they
Yeah,
can.
sure, sir. Uh, if you want to learn, see all of these sites have been mentioned at the last. You can see data camp. For if you just want to know about the theory portion, or the just to you want to grab some knowledge about machine learning, you have these sites that are data camp, Udemy, and towards data science. These all will and NPTEL as well. These all sites will be telling you about the theory portion first. And if you want to have some hands-on tutorial on machine learning, you can yourself go to kaggle.com, or you can enroll yourself to courses on Udemy and on NPTEL. They provide you a good hands-on training on machine learning as well. Um, and you have many online sites. There are different online sites. You can go to YouTube as well. They have many different tutorials on machine learning in YouTube. But the basic thing that you need to, if you're interested in going for machine learning, you should have a good knowledge about, at least not at least you should have a basic knowledge about Python. And Python is very easy to learn. You can go online and you can search in any of the sites like Java T Point, tutorial points, any of these sites, and you can just learn about some of the basics of Python. And it's the best language if you are going on for machine learning, because it's close to the computer, we say, to the computer hardware. And you can like learn Python first and then go for machine learning in advanced versions. If you want to ask any questions, you may ask.
So you can learn the basic things in Android. If you are not having laptop, so go through the language. Without laptop, how you will work on it? Any other question? This session was just a basic session how what is going in market. So if you want any technical specific session, we can keep about that. We can keep a session on that also further. So just this session was just to get a brief what is going on currently, and from where you should start and what you should start. In Android, you should start learning basic things first. You can pick up any language and start with. You have to check on what is beneficial to you. If I would suggest, then go for that language or a framework which not only works in Android but also works for iOS. So I think less than 1 minute is there. Anything you have to ask, then be quick. And thank you for joining. If you need any session like this, you can prior tell to coordinators or tell to Rahul sir. Then he can arrange session